Good morning and welcome to a humid Austin, Texas. We are finishing up a project that we started a while back, and when I say we, you and I are finishing up a project we started a while back, which was the Kickstarter install on this Honda XR150. I showed the assembly of that shaft, and I'll link that video, or I'll insert the video of the assembly of the shaft, kind of or an abridged version of that in this video. And then I ordered a bunch of parts out of the Philippines, as they have the Kickstart on that model. And then when I got it, I realized I was missing a few pieces, and I'll show those pieces here. Let's see if I can look at those. So this is the stock brake pedal. That's my dog. Hi, baby. Okay, scooch back. Scooch back. Come on. That's my stock. Okay, you're good. You're such a good dog. That's my stock brake pedal, and you see that it curves down. Now, when you put this on, you can see the issue. You can see the issue pretty easily. Like, that's just not the right orientation to get that. And so what they do is they make a straighter pedal, which goes on this. So if you look at that, it basically prevents you from installing the Kickstarter. Yeah, baby, I know. Go on. Go on. Go on. You're a good girl. Prevents you from installing the Kickstarter. So you can see here with the stock pedal, that creates issues. You'd have to make the brake pedal way too low in order to make this work, and it wouldn't work even in the back here. You can see. So I ordered the replacement pedal from the Philippines as well, and you can see this one will go lower. This one will go lower on the bike and allow for the use of the Kickstarter. I also did not have a clutch basket that works. When I get this apart, I'll show you. And so I ordered a Honda clutch basket, but in the meantime, I got on Alibaba and I started looking at clutch baskets, and these two seemed very similar to that. These are for a CB150F, I believe, or CBF 150. I'll look that up, and one's a 2088 brand, and that's this one, and then one's a kind of a different generic brand. They both worked out to about 40 bucks a piece. The Honda basket was about 190 bucks plus shipping, and so these are much cheaper options. Of course, you never know about the metallurgy on these clutch baskets, but if you look at them, they're all very similar, or at least they look similar. This is the Honda one. You can tell because it's got the darker rivets on it, and it's not as well machined on the inside face, which is kind of unusual, or seemed kind of weird to me. These are actually machined a little nicer on the inside. So I honestly probably wouldn't have a problem using any of these. I'm gonna put all of these in, and just see how they fit. I am going to use the Honda one, but anyway, yeah. So once I get those parts in, get the clutch in, and do all that, I think we should be good to go with the Kickstarter. So I hope to get that accomplished today. Yeah, so here we go. I'm going to likely go fast time and disassemble this. Yeah. Okay, at this point in the video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about this bash plate. the B&B bash plate. It has 2 attachment points. It's really high quality. I am going to put a little sound deadening material on the inside here. I'll clean this off. It's got a little bit of oil from the oil change, or when I drained the oil initially. I'm gonna put some sound deadening because it has a tendency to reflect up, like all bash plates has a tendency to reflect up. So I bought some car sound deadening material, and I'm gonna put that on. I've used that with success on other things. So yeah, we'll probably go back to fast time now. Okay. There's the inside of the housing assembly. I guess the right cover, and that is the hole that is drilled. Looks like it's the same diameter all the way through. Yeah, I guess we could probably find the spec for that, and then people could machine their own cases or just take it to a drill press or put it on a drill press. Imagine if you were steady with that, you could probably do that yourself. Here's the stock case, and you can see there's the boss. And so it looks like it would be a fairly easy fit. The other thing that you'd have to do is, it looks like this works on the outside edge of this thing, on the outside edge, and so that might take a little bit of machine work as well to get it to accept the oil seal without issue. Looks like I did pretty good on that gasket. I've got one little tear in it at the top, so I'm going to reuse the gasket because I don't think I have another one. I'm going to talk a little bit about the mechanisms. That's part of this. Goes in the clutch assembly. There's a bearing that goes here. So the big issue is, and what I have to do is take this clutch assembly off. Take the clutch assembly off and replace the basket. When I installed this clutch, not spring, but clutch gear, or Kickstarter gear, sorry, what ended up happening was I went to use it and it didn't have any effect, and I realized the backside of this clutch basket does not have a gear, and so that set me off on understanding that I had to get this clutch basket in order to make the Kickstarter assembly work. I have a Yamaha TW200, and that one comes, even though they stopped putting Kickstarters in them like in the year 2000, they left the basket alone, and so there's a gear on the back of the basket. So all you need for the TW200 is the shaft and the counter sprocket that ties it to that shaft. Yeah, not so on this Honda. They decided to save the extra 12 cents on machining the gear in the back or whatever they saved, and therefore you have to replace the whole basket, which is kind of a pain in the ass. I wish they would have just used the same basket, similar to the way Yamaha does with the TW200. But you know, Honda's bike, they get to do what they want to do. It's their business. So so now I'm going to take off this assembly, which is like the oil slinger, kind of a filter basically. We'll take this off. Once we get that off, I can get the clutch basket off, and get this clutch assembly out, and then I can take this bolt off. Use an impact driver to do that, and then we'll look at everything while we have it apart. I can't remember if I showed that in detail the last time I took this apart, so anyway, I'm going to show this coming apart. Yep, that's where I wanted it anyway. my air conditioner's running, and you can see I'm sweating because it's warm here in Texas already. There's the oil slinger with a little thing. It's got a little, got a particular driver that you have to have in order to get that off, and we have that driver. And I'm gonna go get my impact, my larger voltage impact, and I'll be back. Okay, so to get that, I don't know if that focuses or not, but anyway, to get this off, you have to have one of these little tools, a little shoulder castle nut kind of deal, and so that's required in order to get off the oil slinger. And we're going to get an extension. And we're going to zip that off. Oops, wrong way. That's pretty easy. There's that, and then there's a washer in there as well. You can see that is the nut, and then this is the washer. It's hard to tell if that focuses or not. So now this clutch basket is ready to come off. We got to take that nut off, and then this whole clutch, the clutch plates all come off as a unit, so you don't have to or disassemble all that. I don't remember what that is. I think it's a 17 or a 19. It's not a 17. Maybe it's a 19. There's a 19, and that looks right. And we're gonna zip it off. And I don't know that I'd want to do this without an impact driver. I mean, I'm sure you could. There's clutch holding tools. I don't know that I've seen a lot of clutch holding tools for this. It's like you got to get the it's like the basket off, and again there's another washer on the inside there. See, that whole assembly just kind of slides off, and on the back there's another washer back here that you got to have. So just remember that when you go to put it back in, to make sure that that assembly is there. And now this just slides off, and we can see that this gear, this one has no gear, and this one does. Again, OEM Honda and OEM Honda. If we look up on the inside of this OEM Honda one, you can see the face is pretty, is machined kind of rough, just like this one is. Whereas those aftermarket, and actually the boss on this gear looks very similar to the one, this 2088 with his aisles kind of, this one looks a little different because it's thicker. But anyway, all that to say, I'm going to try all three of these just to see if they A, fit, and B, interact. So that fits. Got the spring on the aluminum housing, which is normal. That fits, so the inside diameter is the same, and the teeth mesh, which is important. So I would say that that is a fit. So that one works. This one as well, I bet it's going to, because I think these are both the same. These are both the same. Yeah, I got a lot of gears to line up here. Hold on. Gotta line up with this gear over here, as well as the one underneath. Yeah, so that falls into place. This again is spring loaded like everything else. So that one fits as well. I would say that's good. So then the question just becomes about metallurgy on these. And then this is the Honda one, and I can tell because it's got dark rivets. And this one's just going to go in, and this is us installing it. I do want to point out a couple things while I'm here. If you look at this clutch assembly, and I'm going to pick you up and kind of take you in a little closer, you can see that really well. If we look at, that doesn't help. If we look at that clutch, or the kickstart assembly, I keep calling it clutch assembly. The kickstart assembly, you see this bar over here on this shaft. There's a another cog that moves back and forth. This bar is what actuates whether or not it's back and forth or engaged or disengaged. When it's disengaged, it separates the shaft from kind of everything, and this freely spins, is not attached to anything. When you pull the kickstart and do it this way, it engages that, and this goes into the engine. And so it's a pretty clever design. But you have to have this bar. So when you're ordering the parts, understand that you have to have that bar right here. It does not come on the Honda, the US Honda. You also have to have this counter gear, right? It's got an inner race, and then a couple shims. You can see the shim right here on the inside and the outside, and then a couple of these snap rings to hold that in place. That mates to this. This assembly I went over earlier, and I'll probably link that video and or stick kind of the last summary of that in. No need to rehash that. So now I'm going to install that basket, reinstall the clutch, tighten everything back up, and then fill it with oil, and we'll see where we go. Probably go back to fast speed for a little bit. We'll leave you on this lower perch, and I may see about getting you a little closer so you can see things a little easier there. Okay. So that again, that's the stock basket, and we're replacing it with the Honda basket. So you got to get all these gears to line up, and that just falls in naturally. Lovely. We're going to take the clutch assembly. It's got the washer on the back here, and that's just going to slide in. All right, let's just take that off, and we'll put that on first. And then this has got to line up just so, and hopefully we can get all that back in and get the teeth to line back up. Get all of that fall back into place. It likes that one a little better. One of these will work. There we go. See that thick ass washer, and then we put the nut back on. Again, this is a 19mm. And I don't have the clutch holding tool for this. I know a lot of people put shims in here. This has got to go to 50 foot-pound. I'm just going to clack it on. I know that's really not the way you're supposed to do it, but you know, my bike. And I'm not doing this as an instructional video. I'm just doing this to show you what I'm doing. So that's on pretty tight. I'm going to call that good. A couple clacks. So that's ready to go. That's ready to roll. Now we're gonna install this job. It's got the washer on there already. I don't think there's any importance in the orientation of that. Just has to mesh with the other gears. Again, we're gonna put that on. Let's hand start all this stuff. We don't want to cross thread it. We're gonna clack that on. I'm sure somebody's going to have a YouTube comment about that. You just go right ahead and comment, and I appreciate them all. Okay, here is the oil that I pulled out right after I figured out that my Kickstarter wasn't. It's brand new oil. It's not the oil break-in oil. I wouldn't put it back in. But I am going to put this oil back in, because it doesn't have any time on it. I know that's a little jicky for some people, but whatever. It's good Honda oil. Oop. Yep. Okay. Good use of the sandwich bag things. Okay, I think with that, we've got oil in here. And you've got the gear shifter with a Kickstarter. Check for leaks. Make sure I'm not dripping anywhere. I don't have any slow leaks on this gasket. If I do, I'll just replace the gasket again. That's not a big deal. Okay, I think we're ready to put that Kickstarter on and try it before we put the brake assembly on. There is the Kickstarter. At least that's probably like so. Alright. Think about how that's going to go on here, so I don't re-scratch my case up. I scratched it up a little bit right there when I put it on the first time. Alright, I think that's right. It looks about right. Okay, so let's see if this thing starts. Well, that's impressive. Well, that was not impressive, huh? That is definitely not impressive. Let's see, put it on half. That actually works. That's impressive. Now I'm getting the carb done. So there we go. Hopefully you can see that. I think you can. I'm going to reorient that. And that kicks very, very, very easily. It starts very easily. I'm done. That is a complete project. I'm going to put the brake pedal back on now. Alright. New brake pedal. And that will take the old hardware. I didn't need to buy the arm. I wasn't sure if I did or not, so I went ahead and bought the arm and the pin and the cotter pins and all of the accoutrement to go with that. I broke the big cotter pin on this brake pedal, so I needed that anyway. And that came all the way from Manila, the Philippines. Thank you, Honda of the Philippines, and thank you, Cyclista. And we'll start with, I got to put this on, and then that goes in the back. I'm going to thread that first because this is a pain in the ass otherwise. Put that through the bolt. That pointed in the right direction. Oops, okay. can see I did a little adjusting on that to try and get that other brake pedal to work, and that was a non-winning strategy. Bag of metrics, and that looks like maybe a 10 millimeter. I had to guess. Yep. So we're gonna thread you down. Nice. Adjust that where I think I want it, and then we can adjust it a little farther later. I think that's about right. It looks right to me. I think my camera may have gotten a little hot. Anyway, we've got the brake pedal back on, cotter pins, brake light, return spring. That feels like it's got some brake pressure, so we're gonna take it for a ride now. I was just saying that I'm gonna coat this in that metallic stuff to kind of kill some of the noise. I'm gonna clean that up really good, and I'll probably go fast time on that so you guys will see that. I don't know if you can see that from, I don't know if I go back farther.